Hey everybody, it's Hank Avink, founder and coach of the National Coaching League, and we are sitting here with Danielle. Danielle, say your last name for me so I don't mess it up.
Seifert.
Oh, so I was saying it right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Danielle, your life has always been perfect. That's one thing I love about you, Danielle, is you don't let the stuff stick to you.
Right.
And what I mean by that is some shit's happened to you, yet you haven't stayed there and you've moved past it. So the first thing I'd like you to do is they're all wondering, okay, obviously Hank, you're interviewing her. She's got to be somewhere good right now. Can you give us kind of the 55-second elevator speech of where you're at right now, what you're doing, who you are, sell us on you.
Yep. So I'm now at Remax Concepts in Des Moines, Iowa, and I've built a double-digit team. I think I got there in less than a year after leaving a company that I decided that I was going to do the exact opposite of, and just went forward with complete faith that I knew what I was doing and that I was a good person and that I wanted to help people. And people followed. I did no recruiting. I built a team of people that wanted to get to where I'm at, and I want to get them to where I'm at. And here we are. We have an amazing team, had a phenomenal year, more than double the business that we did last year. And things are moving forward, yet they're in control, and everybody's having a great time.
Well, and it doesn't feel like a lot of work, does it?
No, and that's sometimes I have to step back and think about that. Think, wait a second, what's going on? But it's when you love what you do and you're in the right spot and you're working with the right people in your passion, it shouldn't feel like work.
Well, let me read the text to everybody that you sent me. Hey, just put 2.8 million in contract this week. Was that the whole team?
No, just me. No, just me. And it's one of those things where, I remember starting out in the business and having a vision or looking at people that you saw that were successful, that it seemed like business just came to them. Like, oh, that's not fair. How come they just get those deals? Well, as you sit back and look, you realize that they've been there for a while. They've worked hard. They've built a reputation. And they've built a business brand behind themselves. And I feel I've gotten myself to that point now, not where business just comes to me, but I've built a reputation for being a hard worker and doing what's right. And I have a team of the exact same people underneath of me. And those deals, million just.
Let me jump in there because I think this is, so everybody sees where you're at.
Right.
So let's start diving down. How many years have you been in the real estate industry?
This is my 14th year.
14th year. Now, here's in having been your coach for the last, I don't know how many months, I understand that it's not like you've had 14 first years in the business. Everything that you've done has been building upon itself to put you where you are today. Would you agree or disagree with that?
100%.
100%. So tell us a little bit about, because there's some people that may be watching this that are just getting in the business, and tell us about that layering that you've done to put yourself in this position.
So I started off, I found someone that I've always been taught not to recreate the wheel. So I always found somebody that I could emulate, or someone that I could follow and just replicate what they were doing. And new construction has always been a passion of mine. So since day one, not since day one, but since 6 months in the business, I have had a new construction project. I've had them pulled out from underneath and we had to go find other ones and all that throughout the way. Always learning something again along the way, but I've always had a new construction project in the builder. Some that I didn't like, some that I loved. And through both of those, there's also learning curves and learning processes and things that I can say that today I'm utilizing from my very first project I ever had.
Well, with that, some people say, oh, you deal with new construction, so it's easy. Yeah, you paid your dues to get to this part.
And it's not always been easy because rates haven't always been awesome. Once the financing kind of tightened up, that wasn't easy because people all of a sudden have down payments for, that just screwed everything up because people that have money down.
Right. There's a concept.
A job and all of that. But there's been difficulties within that. And then builders also got the rug pulled out from underneath of them too. So inventory was down in that arena as well. And I've always had to sell existing houses so that my people could buy my new houses. So existing houses have always been a big part of it. Not my favorite part of it, but that has to move for my stuff to move. So I've had my hands in all sorts of it, although my focus has always been the new construction side.
So, and you've learned it inside and out. I mean, you're even telling the builders what to put into them now.
Yeah, doing the spec picks and that stuff. I mean, that's important for me on the market side to know and pay attention to what people are wanting and wanting in their new home and what the styles are and what's not the style anymore. And I always say it's my butt to sell the house. It's on me to sell the house. So I want to have that input. And then I have no one to blame but myself. Although, sometimes I try to make excuses. But,
you just say it's my butt to sell. It's like, what's...
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So let's go back though. So your first year in the business, married, not married, where were you in your transition of your life? Because you've gone through some ups and downs in that standpoint. Where were you at that point?
When I started the business, I was married, had one kid.
One kid?
One kid.
Okay, how unfiltered can we be here?
It's your interview.
All right, and you know what? It may not go in.
So if you say something I want to answer, I'll just be quiet.
Yeah, we can cut and paste too, right? So at the time, because what I find is a lot of women, when they're getting into real estate, their marriage may not be at a 10.
Mm-hmm, right.
And they're looking for, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Because you were at stay-at-home mom for a portion of time, weren't you?
Yep, a little while.
And how long was that gap?
I don't know. I probably stayed home for 6 months or so. It just wasn't my.
You realize this is my thing. Great for the moms that do. I need to keep my sanity.
Exactly. Yeah, not my deal.
All right, so you jumped in, scale of 0 to 10, and no judgment because nobody knows what you're basing that against. Where would you say the marriage was at that point?
It's hard for me to go back that far and think, but and again, I don't ever focus on negative. So I don't know. I would say 8. I don't know.
Okay, so it was okay.
Yeah.
All right, and the only reason I ask that is because so many times I see women jumping into real estate. And they're thinking, okay, if I'm not going to stay in this, I've got to be able to provide for not only myself, my kids, etc. I'm not hearing that was that part of your thought process?
No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. But,
so Hank just went down a bunny trail that meant nothing.
Right. Well, although going into it, my personality led me to be a 24/7 realtor and take a step back from those personal things that I now, I don't do that now. I know the importance of being at my kids' games, being home with my husband, that sort of stuff is very important. Where before my focus was my career. I didn't know how to do both. So I think finding a way and finding that balance to do both and be okay being a professional saying, you know what, I am not available at 7 o'clock tonight. Being a professional, you will never be more respected and treated better by your clients if you can be a professional.
Okay, this is another reason why I love working with Danielle. Your schedule is I know you're laughing. You're like, because here's the thing is you somewhat feel guilty about it, and you don't need to. And obviously we both agree with that. What's your typical work hours?
Well, normally I would say that if someone wants to see me between 9 and 3 is your timeline to see me physically. Obviously, I'm always available via my phone and all of that, but office hours, that sort of stuff, 9 to 3. Generally. I do show houses occasionally. Not everybody's schedule works that way. But I'm not a slave to my schedule after those hours anymore, where I used to, if someone wanted to see a house, you jump in the car, you go, that sort of thing. And to me, that's not professional. I'm not a tour guide. I know what I'm doing. My time is worth money. And I provide a great service for my clients. So I need to take care of myself too, or that goes by the wayside as well.
So there's 2 bunny trails to go down here.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have put $2.8 million in the last week together if you weren't knocking it out of the park for your clients.
Right.
And you've consistently done that over 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like just all of a sudden, this has been a run of you doing a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The other thing is you mentioned take care of yourself. What made you say that?
Consistently for probably the past 2 years, I've been working out and taking time away from myself occasionally and spending time with my friends, where before my head was just down. I wouldn't work out. I probably still had good metabolism back then when I was younger. But now it's not the case. I have to actually work for it. I eat well. My biggest probably thing I do for myself right now is working out, but I do it 6 out of 7 days a week, if not 7.
What did your trainer say to you the other day?
I can't remember. He says a lot of stuff.
I've never seen a score like that.
Oh, yeah. In my in-body thing. Yeah. Yeah, that felt easy. Yeah.
So we talk about a lot of different things at coaching calls.
I'm like, well, I don't know where you're going with that.
Yeah. So here's where I'm going with this. Yeah. When you decided to slow down, start saying no, start having standards, start being professional, it's not like your business went backwards. It actually went forwards.
Yeah. When you value yourself, what you bring to the table, your clients do as well, and they'll wait for that. If you're a tour guide, anybody can be a tour guide. Anybody can let someone to the house and say, is this the one, or whatever, without providing any value. As soon as they start to see that value in you, then that's a game changer. And if they don't, then it's not the right client for you. Like if you lose them because of that, okay, fine. It probably would have been a hell of a deal that would have sucked, and you were just saved from that. So
one of my favorite quotes is, some of the best deals you'll do are the deals that you don't.
Yeah, for sure. And then if you have to push too hard, those are the deals that I wish that I wouldn't have done that.
Say that again so people hear that.
Anytime I have to push too hard, those are the deals that I wish I would have never done.
Well, and there's usually reasons why you're pushing. And I remember asking myself, hey, is this a deal that I want to get done just because I said we were going to get done? Or are there flags coming up that says this person shouldn't be buying a home? And it may not be because they can't afford it. It may be because, there's something coming down the road. Call it God, call it your universe, whatever it is. He's saying, hey, listen up. There's something coming that you aren't aware of, and you shouldn't be in this home.
Back off, yeah.
Well, and Danielle, that's another thing that I think you bring to the table. When stuff happens to you, even bad stuff, you're just like, walk us through your philosophy on that.
It's just all part of the plan, and every trial develops perseverance, and you move forward and things get better. I don't like to use the analogy of going around the mountain for 40 years. I don't like to do that. I like to move forward and keep moving forward. I don't like to stay in one spot. So I get over stuff very quickly, because the sooner I get over it, the sooner I learn my lesson from it, and become positive again, the sooner good things are going to come to me. The sooner I'm going to be able to help other people. And I can't help the people on my team if I'm sulking about a deal I didn't get. Like, that's just dumb.
Well, Danielle's recovery time is like instantaneous. Some coaches would say she's either a dream client or an absolute bad client, because it's like, all right, Danielle, okay, you already worked through it? Fantastic. So what are we talking about? Well, then we're good. Okay, good. Have you always been that way, or what?
I would say probably through my divorce and having to rebuild my business a couple times, through some of those yucky down times. I just dug my heels in and learned that I was where I was at for a reason, but I wasn't going to stay there. And I was always, it was like, today working out, I had to push this dumb thing it's called a tank. And you put resistance on it, and like you push it, and he puts weights on it. And I was pushing as hard as I could, but it was going so sneaking slow. I was getting so mad. And that's what I felt like. Like I was pushing hard, but nothing was happening, but I was moving forward. That's how I felt in my downtimes. Like I was pushing the stinking tank that was just not going as fast as I wanted it to, but I was moving forward. So
what'd you do to keep your mindset straight when, you're doing it, and you're not seeing the results?
Yeah.
How'd you keep doing it?
Oh, just every day there was a little something. There's a song that came on that I was like, oh my gosh, yes, tomorrow this, like one of these days I'm going to look back at this day and be like, good job. Like I knew that was going to happen. And I would write stuff on my mirror. I went into devotional stuff that I'd watch every night and make sure every morning I was filling my head with good stuff. Every night I was filling my head with good stuff. There was no negative stuff come in my head. My friends would tell me, like they would call me to complain about stuff, and like within 2 seconds I'd be like, yeah, but did you think that this could have been the deal? This could have been, you could be here instead of here. Like, aren't you thankful for that? Like they couldn't I wouldn't let them go there. And I was in one of the worst spots in my life, and I wouldn't join them there. So.
Well, and what I love about that is how fast you recover, because we all recover at some point, right? For you, it takes about 5 seconds. For some people, it takes 5 years. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you've been through, you just had a new pacemaker. So, I mean, it's not as if you've had an easy life by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-mm.
No, yet those things that you went through have put you where you're at.
Made me appreciate where I'm at, and no one can kill me off. I got a pacemaker.
yeah, right. Let's just hope it doesn't get hacked or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. All right, didn't mean to go there.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, thanks, Hank. Jeez. So the next question I have, and we've got, all right, so we can cut this out. We got 2 minutes. You got to jump, or you want to keep going?
I go a little bit longer.
Okay. Next question I'd like to have is, you said earlier you went in the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. So there's certain philosophies around building businesses out there, and obviously they work for some people, yet you decided it wasn't for you. Right. Your business model is like, if you would have described your business model to me, I would have said, let me know how that works out.
So we met after the fact.
Yeah, right. And so you've got how many agents on your team?
We have 12. 12.
And give me a brief overview of what it looks like to be on your team. It's all about you, right?
Negative. I let them use my name as they need to, as far as the brand, as far as they going after new construction, or if it helps credibility-wise, if they're a newer agent, or if they just feel comfortable having that background behind them on their email or voicemail. But they don't have to. Some do, some don't. It's really about the mentoring and building the relationship with them. And honest to God, I want them to surpass where I'm at. And they can do it with their brand, not with my name. My whole goal is to help them get to where I'm at or better.
Here's what's cool about from a coach standpoint, when she's hired me to help her, I'm like, Danielle, this doesn't make sense for you. And she's like, I know, yeah, it works. I'm like, okay.
And it has, like, I can't imagine a better spot to be in. Like, we're just a team that works together, and we have meetings once a week and go through everybody's business, what they have going on, and support each other and try and find ways to match buyers and sellers together. And
you know, here's what I love about this, because you're a really good person, and you just do what you feel is right for the other people, and then it ends up working out for you.
Always. Yep. And the money will follow if I'm doing the right thing by other people.
See, here's the thing: is it truly is just that simple, right?
Ridiculously that simple.
Well, and it's not as if you haven't screwed up, because you have screwed up. Yet, if you take a snapshot of anybody's past and that's what you base it on, right. Yet here's what I know about you, Danielle. It's through coaching, you've always done what you felt was the right thing based on the information that you've had. And then if you needed to adjust, you just adjusted to make it the right thing.
Right. Yep. Very quickly. Yep.
And say that word again.
Very quickly.
Quickly. That's one thing you do very well, is everything you do quickly. And then if you get into resistance, you say, okay, is this something that I keep moving forward on? Yeah. You're also very quickly to be able to say, you know what? I get that I've invested time, energy, and effort in that. That's just not where we're going right now. And you don't keep beating your head against the wall.
Oh, you got to get on to the next good thing. It's going to give you a headache.
The last thing I'd like to talk about on this episode is you kind of have this sixth sense, and through the sixth sense, it's served you very well. And as your coach, I've wanted to realize, I said, well, how are you feeling on this? Are you feeling it? And literally, this is my scientific research. You're feeling it? Sweet. Let's go full bore. You're not feeling it? Okay, let's back off. Yeah. Tell us about that, because
God has given me the ability to know when things are right, or have that feeling when things are right or when they're not. And I really trust that if I'm doing stuff in good faith and I have that feeling that it's going to work out, even though it's not going to work out exactly as I planned, it's going to work out better than if I had not done it at all. So it could be a different version of what I have in my head of where I end up, but it's all going to be good. He will take care of me. He will get me to where I need to go. I just need to move forward.
That's part of your recovery time because you're not attached to what it's supposed to look like. You see it as beautiful regardless.
That's too many details. If I had an exact picture of what things are going to look like, I would drive myself bonkers. I don't have that.
You're not detail oriented?
Oh my God, no.
We're working on that part.
No,
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
well, here's what I like though. You stay in your strength zone. And I remember having a conversation earlier with you in this year. Your mind's always thinking. Like when you said it's your butt on the line to sell that house, you're constantly thinking, okay, what can I do to get this house sold? Who can I call? What conversation that I can have?
I need a house. I have a house last night. I was studying for a test, and I have a house I need to sell. I texted my sister last night. I'm like, hey, you need to look at this house. Like I'm just like randomly it came to me. Like we'll just all of a sudden veer off to a spot like that. It's always going. It's crazy.
And you allow that to happen though.
Yeah, you have to.
Because that can be one of your biggest strengths, and it can be one of your biggest weaknesses. That you turn your mind never stopping into incredibleness.
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. So your recovery time is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Meaning you've had shit happen in your life, just like all of us, right?
Correct.
Walk me through when stuff happens, how it doesn't completely derail you.
It's honestly about a mindset that I've had to practice and learn and teach myself and fail at several times. But the more you practice it, the quicker you get at it. Mindset of this hurdle that you're running into or this roadblock that you're running into is something that you're going to learn from, is going to take you to a better spot. And I hate to stay in one spot, or definitely if it's a bad spot, I hate to stay there. I want to go on to the next spot super fast. So I just get over it because I know whatever's on the other side of this is better than anything I could imagine. So why not hurry up? Why stick in the crap? I don't understand.
Well, okay. So in theory, that all sounds great.
Yep.
Don't stick in the crap. Makes sense. Yeah. Give us an instance where like your world got turned upside down.
Okay.
And you were able to work through that quickly. How long, tell us a scenario.
Can I mention a specific company?
Oh, I'm at the point where as long as your attorney's fine with it, I'm fine with it.
Well, I had been at another company, a newer company to the Des Moines metro area I'd been there, I want to say 6 months. It seems like a long time, but I think it was only 6 months. And figured out that we weren't the right fit for each other very quickly. And I'd put everything, like my heart, my soul, everything. Because when I go into something, I go full in. I don't half-ass anything.
So real quick, can we back up even before that? Because there was something that attracted you to this company that made you want to come there. What was the vision that was painted for you?
The leverage part. I had done 24 million in volume on my own the year prior. And so the word leverage and the thought of being able to help other people, but also be able to expand my business and maybe not have to work as hard on my own, was like the light bulb that went off when I made the move to this new company. Well,
let's spend a second there right now, because you throw 24 million around like it's, I mean, most people, if they did 24 million, they would be like, woo! And you're just like, well, I did 24 million that year.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a single agent. What did your life look like when you were doing 24 million?
Okay, because I don't focus on anything negative. I remember working hard, but I was doing it by myself. Like I wasn't helping anybody else learn. It was really just me, and I had a closing assistant.
Okay.
And we had enough land deals and that sort of stuff. And there was enough diversity with new construction and existing. I don't remember being exhausted necessarily, but I remember knowing that there's something more I could do with this 24 million. Like I needed to help other people, and I wanted to help other people get there. But if I'm working in my business and only working in my business, like I couldn't do that. So,
well, and at the time, were you working like your schedule now? Your schedule now is
no. Yeah, it was different. Yeah,
like 9:30ish to 2:30.
2:33 when I have to pick up the kids or when the kids come home. And
now, just to give perspective,
Mm-hmm.
You're going to close how many million this year, roughly?
Oh, I mean, I'll be over 20. I don't know what.
And that's that. Just for those of you that are watching, that's just her production, and we're not even talking about the whole other.
No, not. That's just my personal production.
All right.
Yeah.
So you went over there thinking leverage. Went over there thinking that this was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then reality happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay, walk us through that.
There was no focus on actually selling houses, no focus on relationships, no focus on what I had done for the past 12 years, 11 years that got me to that 24 million. There's none of that there. I would never have succeeded at this company because the focus was so far off from what I personally believe to be what made me successful. And we had a parting of the ways, and my world was flipped upside down, and I had to basically start over with what I had in my head as far as my game plan goes.
Well, and she's being way too nice about this, and I don't mind dropping the gloves a little bit. I mean, you were accused of some pretty crappy stuff.
Yep.
And you're like one of my most favorite people in the world.
Thank you.
And you're a good person. I've seen time and time again where you've had a chance to do something that was better for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you pushed aside what was best for you, and you did what was right for the other person.
Right.
And you were being accused of stuff that was just, in my opinion, and what I know of you, complete crap.
Yep. It really was. The thing that I've been here longer than this company had been, and people know me.
Yeah.
So them coming against me actually made them look bad. It didn't bother me because the people that know me, you know, it was a pretty easy deal. I didn't even have to defend myself because it was that ridiculous. So
well, here's what I like is you didn't focus on all the crap. You just said, okay, we're gonna pivot.
Yep.
And we're gonna move forward. And you didn't participate in those little fights, so to speak. You're just like, all right, let's move forward.
Because if I would have, that would have kept me from moving forward.
See, that's all right. So this is where I want to get. So many people, they have shit happen to them and then they stick in it. You know, this morning, driving down the road, and I'm big on this. And can I have 60 seconds of this?
Yes.
Okay. Driving down the road, I look down a side road and there's a guy in the ditch. Mm-hmm. So it's sunk in. And here's my thought process. Guy needs help. Is anybody there helping them? I saw it.
Right.
I'm going to turn around.
Sure.
There's a reason I saw him, turned around. And my thought process is, okay, maybe this is God's intervention or the greater universe intervening so I don't get in an accident on the road. I have the choice to do the right thing here.
Yep.
Turned around, wasn't able to get him out. And I said to the guy, I said, hey, here's the deal. Where are you going? He goes, going to work. I said, I can bring you to work. What time do you get off work? 5 o'clock. I said, I can pick you up. We'll come back. I will help you get out. And it won't cost you anything. You'll get back to work. He's like, nope, don't feel like going to work now. So now this guy's going to be out the work day. He goes, well, I don't have any money for a tow truck. I was like, so don't you think you should go to work? He's like, nope, I don't feel like going to work.
Oh.
Like, so dude, you just keep making your situation worse. You don't have money now, and now you're not going to go to the job that pays you money?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm out.
Yeah.
I said, good luck, dude. I gave you a solution. It doesn't work.
Yep.
Sorry. Get in the car. My kids go, well, Daddy, why didn't you just buy him a tow truck? I said, dude, I gave him a solution that didn't cost me anything. Put him in a better spot. He didn't want to take it. So onward.
Yep. So sorry.
So
yep.
sorry.
That's all you can do. Yeah.
Well, what I love about successful people like you is once something goes bad, they don't make it even worse.
Oh.
They just move on.
Yep.
So what you did is you took everything that company told you to do and went in the complete opposite direction as fast as you could.
Yep.
And how's that working out for you?
Amazing. Amazing. Honestly, like I wouldn't as I don't swear very often, you know this, but as shitty as that 6 months as shitty as that 6 months was, I would not trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade any of that negativity, any of that cold any of those bad words that I could say about it. I wouldn't trade any of that for where I'm at now, because I would not be where I'm at now with the people I am with now and helping the people I am with now if I had not gone through that.
See, and I think that's what people need to recognize. When you're going through, and she said it, the shit that you're going through, what that's doing is it's preparing you for the next opportunity. Because sometimes you have to go through some rough spots to be able to enjoy the good spots, or to give you the drive. Because let's face it, you're competitive, whether you admit it or not. I mean, and it's not that if you win, somebody else has to lose. You want everybody to win around you.
Everybody to win. Correct.
And I've seen you where you've not won yourself because the other person was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe there's a concept that says win-win. You actually participated in it.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So you have that drive, and now how many people do you have on your team?
We actually have had a few people move out of state, so I'm gotta get my numbers right. You know how I am in details, but we have 10 agents now. We'll have 12 after the first of the year. We had 2 that moved away. So
here's one thing I do battle with Danielle a little bit about.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know her numbers. She just focuses on the relationships.
Yep.
And everything works out. So like business planning with Danielle this year was like, okay, what are we gonna do? She's like, focus on relationships.
It works.
It works, and you don't worry about the money yet. Nope. And I'm not gonna mention numbers. If you look at your bank account, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
So people may be saying this, well, of course she's got money, so it's easy for her to say everything's going to be okay.
It wasn't always like that, though.
No, it wasn't always like that. So you've had to restart your career a few times.
Yep.
And you've had times where you looked at your bank account and there wasn't multiple zeros there.
Nope.
Or if there was, and it was scary. So walk us through how you made it through that.
Yeah. Probably the worst time as far as the rebuilding and whatnot goes is when I went through a divorce, and I took on the entire debt from the divorce because I wanted to make sure my kids had good places to live at both houses. So that was most important to me. So I figured if anybody can control their income, it's me. So I'll just make enough to make it work and take all that on. So that was probably the roughest time of my career because I was rebuilding. I was starting over. I was finding a new builder. I had a new office. It was just complete chaos. But every morning and every night, I had some sort of positive devotional or video or something I would watch. And that's how I would fill my brain every morning, every night. And even though I was in one of the worst points of my life, I remember friends coming to me saying something, they had something go wrong in their life. I still somehow found the ability to be a positive influence on them, which actually ended up pulling me through probably more than it helped them. Because I wouldn't let them sulk, so then I couldn't sulk. I'm like, well, I can't sulk. If I'm not going to let my friends sulk, I got to keep moving forward. I got to practice what I preach, so to speak. And I just knew every morning I was getting closer to getting out of it. And every morning there's just a little bit of hint of something. And then sometimes there'd be downturns, but there was enough positive every day that I could focus on that.
What was that time span from like when the stuff hit the fan to when you were kind of like able to just take a deep breath and say,
yeah,
wow.
I would say it was probably close to a year to get all the way out of it. But the light at the end of the tunnel was seen before then, like I could see that I was going up.
Yeah.
I would say it was probably 8 months or so before I was back on my feet to the point where I wasn't like in a major struggle every day.
So,
but the biggest thing, and then at the same time to keep my head on my shoulders and a somewhat decent demeanor about me with my kids, that's an important part of it too, because it wasn't just about me and money.
I'm glad you went there. I admire the way that you put your kids first, at least from what I know about the story. And I've heard different examples, and we won't go into those.
Right.
Yet you're not the first real estate agent to go through a divorce. You're not going to be the last.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to real estate agents that have kids that are going through a divorce? And your business, we won't go into all of that. Yet your business was tied in such a way that you were basically starting over.
Yep.
So what advice would you have?
Just remember that your kids are always watching you. And, my kids now, they see how hard I work and they know why I have my phone by me and why I have all that, but they appreciate me being around and being present because they pay attention to my demeanor, through tough times, through tough phone calls, through how I treat people, how I handle difficult situations. And they pay attention to my attitude when I come off the phone with them too. So I think you just got to remember that kids are always paying attention, not necessarily when you're talking to them, but when you're talking to other people. They'll learn how to treat other people by how you talk. And we have our phone by us all the time, and they get to witness that constantly. So just be very cognizant of that. I wasn't always, I have to back up a little bit. I wasn't always as focused as I should have been as a mom when I started in my career either. I was so career focused and so money focused and so driven by being the number one or wanting to be the number one or being close to the number one that my family did suffer during that time. And, so that's another instance of learning and getting to where I didn't figure this all out just by like being a good person. And that's not how,
we never have it all figured out.
No.
Adjusting, right?
Yeah. And as soon as you think you do, be darn sure that you're going to be that like around the corner, something's coming at you. So don't ever get so cocky that you think you got it all figured out.
Well, and one last thing I'd like to touch on, because I know you got to go here. Yeah. Even though you maybe had opportunities to not do this, I've always heard you speak very highly of your prior spouse when it comes to putting him in a position for the kids.
Yep.
We can't control our first thought; we can control our second thought. And give us some thoughts on what your approach was towards that.
There's just no reason for it. I mean, they're my kids' dad. Like no matter what, anything has happened between him and I that has nothing to do with them. And just how I'm always try to be positive in life. Like I want to teach them that. And if I'm talking negative about anybody in my life, but especially their dad, like that's the dumbest thing. That's the most hypocritical thing I could do. That's 100% against everything that I say I am. So it's just not an option.
Well, and so things compound, and when you don't let that be an option, it doesn't. I mean, it just cuts it off right there. That's something that you do very, very well. Is you cut things off so they never gain momentum. Yes. And I use the analogy, when a car's at the top of the hill, you can stop it with your finger. What a lot of people don't do is they let that car start to go down the hill. And even if they stand in front of it, they use all their strength. They can't stop it.
Right.
So you snuff things out very quick.
Yes. Yep. You have to.
Well, I know you got to go.